Hi there, welcome to my sewing room where today I'm actually going to be sewing something. Specifically, I'm going to be making a 4-square coaster. These are really simple and really cute. They're pretty easy. On a scale of 1 to 5, I'd say maybe about a 2. So they're a pretty simple sewing project. Here's a few samples of them. I've got this one right here and this one. And then I've got these that are Christmassy. So those all make a little set of 4. So I'm going to show you how to make them, and I'm going to start at the very beginning and go all the way to the very end. So you're going to start with 5-inch squares, and you can either get them in these little charm packs or you can just cut them 5 by 5. You do want to make sure you are really exact, because if they're not the full 5 inches both ways, then you're going to end up being a little scant on your seams, and things can not get quite into the seam or come out too easily when they're turned inside out. Not that I've ever done that, of course, but I've heard that that can happen. Right, I've done it a few times, even though I knew better. So what you want to do is just get a total of 5 pieces of fabric that coordinate with each other. And I'm going to show you how to take them out of a charm pack without ruining the charm pack. So what I do is I've got these pre-chosen here. So what you want to do is, I'll put that there, is press down real close to that center, because you've got that little band. There's a band going all the way around. So you want to press down. Here's the piece I want. Press down underneath it. And then with these 2 fingers, hold real close to that band as well. Hold tight. And pressing down, I'm going to just sort of coax it out of there without pulling any other pieces with it. Did just a little bit, but it went right back in. Okay, so there's another of my pieces. And then I've got another one ready because I've got 3 now out of my 5. So I'm going to use this one here, again, pressing down, holding on to these right here, and just pulling it out. And there I go with another one. And then I'll get my 5th one out real quick here. All right, so there's that. And any kinds of fabric, you can do anything. I enjoy gingham, so that's why I've got that right here. That's a fun one to do on the opposites. And you can do any kind of pattern you want. The whole thing can be all one fabric, one type of fabric. But I enjoy having contrast. So I've got these 2 out of a charm pack, and then I've got those 2 that were fabric that I just cut into the 5-inch pieces. So you need 5 pieces because you're going to also have 1 on the back, and they're all 5-inch squares. So I've got my pieces right here, and there they are. So you can do any combination that you want, any one on the bottom that you want. And what you want to do is take 4 of them and press them in half perfectly. Okay, so there's those. And then here's my base one. So I'm going to start out with my base, and I'm going to put my first piece down, and I'm going to put them nice and evenly all around the edges. So those edges right there, those are perfectly lined up with each other. And the fold is in the middle. I'm going to lay my next one, well, I'm basically laying them counterclockwise as I go. I mean, the action I'm doing is counterclockwise. So I'm going to lay that right there, and I'm going to lay this one right here. And you can see I'm letting them meet really perfectly in the middle there. Well, they will, but just kind of make sure that that's what's happening. Now I'm going to take my last one here and lay it down, but obviously it needs to be underneath the other piece. So I'm going to hold it firmly here, and then lift up this piece right here, fold it back, lay that down, and put that on top of it. And then you're going to just kind of mess with it to make sure everything is really nicely lined up. And then you're going to pin it. And then head over to the sewing machine. So I've got this in here ready to go. I start a little ways down from a corner because I don't want to start at a corner. I have a certain thing I do at the corner, which I will be showing you in a second. And one thing I never do is go over my pins. So they're there just to hold it in place until I get right up to them. So I'm going to go ahead and start. Take that guy out. Okay, so I'll just show you what I do when I get up here. So I go up to just about the end. I'm going to go back 1. Okay, and it's good to reinforce the corner. What I do, instead of doing a total 90 degree is I do a couple of little stitches at the corner, go back, and then forward again to where the last of that stitch is, and then turn it. Okay, so you come on down the line again. Again, before you start, you want to make sure that all of your edges are inside this seam, and quite securely so, not just barely, because they won't withstand turning it over, which I'll be doing in just a moment. Okay, so I'm going to do another little corner here. Okay, and turn. Now, one fun thing about this is that you do not need to leave any, like a little hole there to turn it inside out, and you'll see why in just a minute. So, about done here. I'm just going to go ahead and do this whole thing so you can just see this a couple times. Okay, so now I'm at my angle. Can you see that that's an angle there? I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to go a couple stitches and back a couple. All right, and you go a little bit further than you think you're going to need to. It just seems to turn out that way. You can always go back if you went too far, because it's all, that part is all going to be in the seam anyway. So I'm on the very last corner here, up to the end, and then my little angular corner. See, I went too far, but that's okay because it's all in the seam anyway. So now I'm coming around to the very end here where I started. So I guess I'm coming around to the start, but it's where I'm going to end. So I'm just going to go back and forth a couple times is all, and I'm done. Okay. So now what I do is I'm going to clip my corners, and I want you to get really close here so you can see just how close I get. Let's get under the light maybe, and I'm going to do it right up to there, if you can see that. It's more than a 1/16 of an inch, but it's not all the way up to an 1/8. So I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to still stay that little distance away right there. And I'm going to just kind of go like a long angle. And same thing here. So this way we're getting all that fabric out of the way, and we can have a nice corner. So let's see, there we go. Okay, so there, there, and there. And last one. Okay, so now the fun part where we turn it inside out. So now to turn it inside out, you just are going to get your finger inside there underneath the 4 flaps, and you're going to start turning it. I get my finger way up into that corner and press it out, push it out. Okay, and I'm going to keep going around. It's kind of a mess while you're doing it, but you just remember, you know, where your little folds are, and you'll just keep going around until you've got all of them. And then it's easy at this point to get between these two, okay, but you want to stay under the flaps. Once again, not that I've ever done that, but I've heard you could do it. See how easy that would be to just want to fold that out, but you got to get both flaps. Okay, so I'm getting every corner, and now I'm going to start pulling them out. Oh, this is just the fun part. I just love turning things inside out. Okay, so there it is, a little bit messy, but that's okay. And then I've got a little pusher, a corner pusher, so that helps me get it even more well pushed out. And again, I don't want to go there, I want to go underneath both of them. So I just kind of roll it around till that corner comes out nicely. Okay, can you see that? Okay, and again, see, it was real natural to do that because of where I already was, but you just keep remembering to push it out underneath and go underneath both flaps. So there I go, and now I'm going to go ahead and press it with my little tiny craft iron. Okay, but they can get pretty hot. Isn't this cute? It's just the cutest little thing. So just gonna, yeah, it's really working. The only thing is it doesn't have steam because it's just a little hot iron. And I'm going to do the other side too here. I want to get those edges nice and flat as well, just even besides getting the flaps themselves nice. So I'm going to do a little bit of this best press. You can just use water, but I'm just going to put that on there. Okay, so you can see it's flattening out really nicely. Now I can just leave it this way. This is complete. I'll show you again these Christmas ones I did. All of those are a little set like that, and I didn't do any top stitching on those. But top stitching does add a nice little touch. As you can see, those look complete enough. But on these, I did the top stitching. All right, so those look a little bit more finished, but nobody's going to know the difference, only you, so it's just a matter of personal preference. So what I do here is I basically will find a spot on the presser foot that is my guide. So like, see this little opening right here? You've got a different presser foot, you know, possibly, most likely. So you just find a spot on the presser foot where that's going to be the outside edge. So if I go here and I have that little tiny opening there, that's the edge. So I'm going to use that as my guide all the way around. It's just, to me, it's just easier than trying to find something on my sewing machine. So that's what I do. So I don't need to demonstrate that, but that is what I do. So that's actually it. You are done. You can do them in sets. You can give them with a mug as a gift. You can put coffee or tea or whatever inside of it and just have a really fun little gift.